Welcome to IELTS Pathshala. Today we are diving into a topic that's essential for IELTS success, vocabulary to describe people and their personalities. Whether you are tackling the speaking test or adding detail to your writing answers, these words will help you stand out and impress the examiner. আজকে আমি এই লেসনটি সম্পূর্ণ ইংরেজিতে কথা বলে নেওয়ার চেষ্টা করব, কারণ আমি যদি দেখেছি বাংলাতে যখন আমি কথা বলি তখন আমার কিছুটা স্ট্যামারিং চলে আসে, যার ফলে পুরোটা ইংরেজিতে বলবো এবং আমি চেষ্টা করব যে শব্দটা বলি সেটার বাংলা অর্থ স্ক্রিনে এক কোণে লিখে দিতে, যাতে আপনারা সহজে বুঝতে পারেন। So we'll cover 3 key areas today. How to describe physical appearance, words for different personality traits, and idioms that make your language sound natural and fluent. Stay with me till the end for a fun practice task to test what you have learned. Let's get started. Now let's start with vocabulary for describing physical appearance, a very common topic in IELTS speaking. Height. When describing someone's height, you can say tall if they are above average, short if they are below average, or average height if they are in between tall and short. Build. For body type, we can use words like slim for someone thin but healthy, muscular for someone who has well-defined muscles, stocky for someone who is short and strong-looking, and petite for a small, delicate build, usually used for women. Hair, you can describe hair as straight, like perfectly aligned hair strands, curly if it forms tight curls, wavy if it has soft waves, or even bald if someone doesn't have hair. Other feature, you can talk about distinguishing features like freckles, those tiny spots on someone's face, dimples, the little indentation on cheeks when someone smiles, fair-skinned for skin color. Example to explain, for instance, if you were asked to describe a friend, you could say, my best friend is of average height, slim and has curly hair. She also has the cutest dimples when she smiles. This adds detail and makes your description vivid. Now let's talk about personality traits, an important part of describing people. These words are especially useful for IELTS speaking and writing when you need to add detail and variety to your answer. Positive traits. Let's start with positive traits. These describe good qualities in a person. Kind means someone who is caring and considerate. Ambitious is used for someone who sets high goals and works hard to achieve them. Outgoing means someone who is friendly and love socializing. Hardworking describe a person who puts in a lot of effort, and generous refers to someone who shares or gives willingly. Now let's look at neutral traits, অর্থাৎ নিরপেক্ষ বৈশিষ্ট্য. These depends on context and are not necessarily good or bad. Reserved means someone who is quiet and keeps their feelings private. And practical is used for person who focuses on realistic solutions. Shy describes someone who feels nervous in social situations. Quiet and serious are straightforward but can describe people who aren't very talkative or who focus on important matters. Finally, we have negative traits. Be careful when using these. They describe undesirable qualities. Lazy refers to someone who avoids work or efforts. Rude means someone who behaves impolitely. And arrogant is used for someone who thinks they are better than others. Selfish describes a person who thinks about their own needs, and impatient refers to someone who has trouble waiting or gets annoyed easily. Example to explain. For example, if someone asks you to describe a teacher, you could say, my teacher is very hardworking and ambitious. She is also practical when it comes to solving problems. However, she can be a bit impatient when students don't pay attention. Here notice how we used a mix of traits to make the description more realistic. Regarding idioms, uh, idioms are a fantastic way to sound more natural in your speaking, especially for the IELTS speaking test. And today I will share some idioms you can use to describe people. A cold fish. This idiom refers to someone who seems distant or unemotional. For example, he never shows how he feels. He's a bit of cold fish. And down to earth, this means someone who is practical and realistic. For instance, she's so down to earth even though she's very successful. And a people person, this idiom describes someone who enjoys socializing and gets along well with others. For example, he is definitely a people person. Everyone loves talking to him. The life of the party, this is someone who is fun, lively, and brings energy to social events. For example, at every gathering, she is the life of the party. Set in their ways, this idiom refers to someone who doesn't like change and prefers to stick to their habit. For instance, if you are asked to describe a family member, you could say, my sister is very down to earth and practical. She is also the life of the party whenever we have a family gathering. Using idioms like this will make your answers more interesting and natural. Practice using these idioms in your daily conversation or writing. It will help you remember them better and impress the IELTS examiner. Now it is time for you to practice. Think of someone you know, a friend, a family member, or even your teacher. Describe their physical appearance, personality traits, and try to include one of the idioms we have learned today. So, after learning, here is an example I'm writing. So, My best friend is tall and slim with curly hair. She is hardworking and very generous. Everyone calls her the life of the party because she's so lively and fun at social events. Now it's your turn. Write down your description and read it out loud. If possible, record yourself to check your pronunciation and fluency. Challenge yourself to use at least one word from each section we covered today: physical appearance, personality traits, and idioms. This will help you prepare for similar question in IELTS speaking. To make it fun, try describing a famous person using today's vocabulary.